Hey, welcome back to the Full Weight of Joy podcast. My name is Tami and I'm your host, and I am so thankful you're here today. I'm excited to dive into this conversation. Before I start, I've had a lot of people ask me, because I left you kind of a cliffhanger about my kids' wisdom teeth. Was it like a genius idea to have them done at the same time? Like they each had 4 that were removed, or was it really a stupid idea? And it was a little bit of both. Overall, it was a really great experience. The experience was phenomenal. I was able to dedicate like a day and a half really to make sure I monitored their medicine and their pain and everything. And they did so good. Man, as soon as Lindis approved some of the videos that I got of her, she did not disappoint when she was under the influence. Isaac just got quiet and was groaning a little bit, and just anytime we asked him a question, he just groaned the answer. But Lindis had some Spider-Man moments where she was making the little hand motions and going pew, pew. Another thing she did was, I had a friend who went with me, and she was she was holding her because I was holding Isaac up so his head didn't bobble around. And so she was holding Lindis, and so that way Lindis could see me. And then she's like, who are you? She's like, it's Julia. She goes, Julia? That's a stupid name. It was just it was hilarious. So I apologize to all the Julias who are watching. We don't think your name is stupid. However, we can't be held responsible for what happens under the influence, right? But anyway, they're good. It actually was really great because I brought them home, got them some medicine, put them to bed, and they slept. So I was able to actually get a little bit of work done. In the evening, it was a lot more when that when the anesthesia wore off. That was a little bit more of a challenge, but overall they're doing great. Linda still has some bruising, but overall, they're healed and started to eat more and everything. It's been almost 2 weeks now, so things have been good. So I appreciate you reaching out and asking. And would I do it again? That's the other thing, is yes, I would do it at the same time again, because I was able to clear my schedule to really focus on them. And that really helped, I think, because I wanted to be there completely present. And I was able to work my calendar, work my schedule, take time off, cancel my things and for the 2 days, and really just be able to sit with them. And so that is how it went. But today I want to dive into something, and I want to get a little bit personal here, because I know you've been on this journey with me. We've been talking about self-awareness, and we've discovering who you are, your identity, your purpose, your calling. And it's so interesting to me because I see we're at the beginning of the year. So no matter what time when you're listening to this episode, it is the beginning of the year. So people are setting their New Year's resolutions, their intentions for the year. What do you want from 2025? And for the most part, people, things that they say is they want freedom. They want inner peace. They've renewed energy and joy. They want confidence, and they want better, deeper relationships. And as I was listening to my clients, my friends, even other people just talk about what they wanted for this year, it dawned on me, all of these things you can gain through self-awareness. When you understand yourself, you can understand, and you can give, you give compassion, you can give grace to yourself and others. You understand what inner peace is, because your definition of inner peace and my definition of what it looks like can be completely different. Simply, if you're an extrovert versus introvert, my sense of inner peace is like a calm house and pretty steady, or traveling. I have a friend who her inner peace is constantly being around her people. The more she's around her people, the more peaceful she is. And so we look at the regular definition. But when we have that self-awareness, when we discover who we are at our core, who we're wired to be, why God made us this way, then we can start to put pieces together. And so all of these things, we can get through self-awareness. Now, as I was coming up with ideas too, what are some other tangible things? What are some tangible things that we get when we have self-awareness? And I lost my notes here. And, I've talked about some of them: clear decision-making and authentic your authentic self. You can increase confidence, things like that, which I have 10 things. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give those their own podcasts. But first, I really want to dive into this, why we need it for ourselves, what you want for 2025. The key to getting them is to understand what they are in the first place. And to understand what they are, you need to know what they are to you. And so I want to encourage you to dive in and to we'll talk about why it's worth getting uncomfortable as well. So let's first talk about what you gain. So this freedom from the should trap, stop shoulding on yourself. Like, how many times do you I really should be doing this? Well, the thing is if you know yourself and you know what you want, then you can finally stop comparing yourself to others' paths, and doing what other people are doing. Even with exercise, I have a friend who, she is beautiful and she is fit and thin and does CrossFit. And it's I really do wish that I had her physique, her dedication to the physique. But then I was like, oh, you know what? Doing CrossFit is not something that I want to do. That's not something that my knees could handle. Thank you, Air Force and life in general. That's not something that I want to do. And could I? I probably could. Okay. I don't want to put my limits on myself. But the problem is I don't have to compare myself to others. So when you stop oh, I should be doing that as well. Oh, your goal is to, I don't even know. Your goal is to eat healthier. Oh, you're right. I should be. Well, I actually eat pretty darn healthy. So I can look at what does it mean for me? Well, and release of exhausting pressure to be good at everything. Hello, I'm an Enneagram 1. And it's not that I need to be perfect. It's not that I need others to think I'm perfect. It is always striving to be better, which means that I want to be good. I want to do things right. When I understand that there is no 100% right, when I understand this should trap that I keep putting myself in, and when I understand that that's my natural tendency, now I can choose a different way and realize that even my daughter and I, we've started doing a weekly craft night. We just do a couple of hours. We have a little kit that I've collected over the years, and it's let's use them and then we'll see if we want to do more. But it's really interesting because I've pushed past the everything needs to be perfect. Well, this one doesn't look like, this card doesn't look like that card. Well, the same person's not getting them. So they don't know what they don't know. And yet she's still that, no, it has to be lined up perfect. And so getting rid of that should trap, that freedom of, stepping into you and not worrying about what other people think, comes from the self-awareness, because then you know where it's rooted. What are you trying to gain? What's the motivation there? Is it to be, to be seen as, the most supportive? Is it to be seen as successful? Is it to be seen as the smartest? Is it to be seen as the most lively and fun? Well, you can decide, well, in this situation, do I want to be the most lively and fun? You don't have to be. You don't have to be the most or the least anything. You can be you. And if you do need to be, then you have to define it of what it means to you, not what other people, what their assumption may be. And so the other thing is let go of others' expectations and their definitions of success. When I started defining success for myself, that's when big things started happening. That's when I started being able oh, well, this I can do. And I started seeing what was possible. When you are trying to live up to someone else's undefined definition of success, whether it's a friend, a partner, a family member, you are winning, you're fighting a losing battle. You are traveling uphill both ways. This undefined definitions of success, and your success and someone else's success don't have to look the same. And so just, you get to feel the permission to say no, what doesn't align. This year, I'm going to lean in more to the alignment, because in order to be able to, for things to align, you have to understand what they are. You can't be wishy-washy. You can't not have definitions for things. If you're going to align with God's purpose, you need to know what it is, right? You've got to do the research. If you want to align with your core values, well, you need to know your core values. And one of the ways I'm doing this is through this Align and Shine program. We're going to take that first step. It's 8 weeks. And I'm telling you, like, I'm so excited about this. I already have a couple people that are interested in joining. So stay tuned. It is happening. My goal start date is the week of February 20th. In that week. So we've got some time, but get on my calendar and let's talk and see. Because if you want to start this process, and even if you do have a basis of understanding of who you are, what I want to do is I want to systemize it. Like, I want to give you a blueprint. I want to help you have these frameworks to make decisions and to take it to the next level. So that way you can know, where does my energy come and go? What freedoms do I need? What is my definition of success and my definition of, like, what are my expectations for myself? And are they realistic? Like, that's what we're going to talk about. 8 weeks. We're going to get in. We've got a great community of women who are going to do it together. And it's just going to be a fabulous time. Like, I'm really excited about this. And yeah, and I've got some surprises, especially for this first cohort. So you don't want to miss it. If you're interested, you want to know more about it, the landing page is coming up soon. I have a quiz that, as soon as my webpage, it is in process of changing domains, doing all the behind the scenes things, all of that will be available. So there will be a quiz to see, is this right for you? And then there's just going to be that information of, like, get on the call and let's see if it is. I'm not gonna put you in it if it's not right. I will let you know if it's not right for you. All right, let's move on, because we're already 12 minutes in and I still have 4 more things. Like, let's talk about deep inner peace. So many people, they want peace, right? They want to feel peaceful. And that's what their goal is. I want to feel peace and, well, joy, which is the next one. But this internal questioning of your self-worth. When you understand your unique value proposition, your zone of genius, what your divine design is, however you want to say it, what makes you you, what makes you unique, and the strengths that you hold, we get to stop constantly questioning it, because it's there. It is black and white, and we will put it on paper. So that way, when you do start to have those internal questions, you can go back and say, no, this is why. And so when you end that constant internal question of your worth, you have more peace. You can lean into that. That's also goes back into confidence, which I will also talk about in a moment. But you stop feeling like an imposter. Peace means you are authentically you. It means that you understand, you find a calmness when it comes to leaning into your strengths. You realize that your strengths are, you don't have to worry that one day you're going to wake up and you're not going to have them anymore. They are there. God gave them to you and you get to lean into them. And so by having them listed, having them going through the process of discovering what they are, you can bring that peace can come naturally because it's spelled out for you. Because you're not trying to discover it or constantly wondering. You'll know. So you also release the need to prove yourself constantly. If you know what you're good at, you know what your calling is, and you know what you shine at, then you don't have to constantly worry about proving your worth. And I want to truthfully, this goes for all Enneagram numbers, but I want to talk to my Enneagram 2s for a little bit, just for a moment, because I know that you serve to show love and to prove your worth, and you don't have to do that. Enneagram 3 is you don't have to succeed in order to show your worth. And when you understand what peace is to you, when you understand what your strengths, your gifts, your talents, your core motivations are, there's a level of understanding and a level of calmness that comes with it, because it's there. And you can choose to go deeper. You can choose to stay where you are, but now it's your choice, not a feeling of lack. So the next one is renewed energy and joy. Do you want to wake up really excited about your life? Excited about I don't know what the day holds. However, I know I'm going to get to use my gifts. I'm going to get to impact the kingdom. I'm going to get to I'm going to serve others. I'm going to get to be authentically me. I talk about choosing joy. And and then I even say, choose joy until joy chooses you. And this is how joy chooses you, is because you understand what joy is to you already. And so you have this framework, you're on this journey, you have the blueprint for how do you have renewed energy and renewed joy every morning. And yes, it is like connecting to God. It is, I get that. Yes. And I know that when I don't connect with my quiet time and, in prayer, then yes, that joy is not as deep. But there's always a level there that I have because I built this up, because I understand what joy is to me, and because I can feel energized rather than drained at the end of the day, because I know that I leaned into my strengths. It also, you get to experience the flow states of more frequently. I know there's a lot of woo that talks about like flow states. What I'm talking about is what when things are just happening, when people around you are like aligning with your mission, and God puts people in place to not only further your mission, but also others need your gifts to further theirs. So this is why I talk about like when you shine your light, it gives others the ability to shine theirs. It's because you can help others, and this renewed energy and joy comes from knowing that you have a purpose, knowing that you're going to leave a legacy, knowing that people need you. We all have this need to be needed, right? That's not just for Enneagram 2 alone. We want to make an impact. We want to make a difference. We want to know we matter. Well, when we know ourselves, we can do that in a way that energizes us instead of drains us. We don't have to say yes to everything. We can say no to things, realizing that, Susie down the street is actually, her strengths align with that a lot better, a lot more. And she has the time and she would love to do it. So then the next one is authentic confidence. I am doing on the second Thursday of the month, I'm going to start doing a confidence code workshop where we're going to talk about what it takes to have confidence and how to work that muscle. And, like, it's not what you think. So like, join me on those days, those workshops. I didn't actually plan on talking about that right now, which is why I'm like flubbing. I've got multiple things that I'm working on right now, which I'm really, really excited about, that they all go together and they all get to like, the thing is that they all, like, after diving into what lights me up, these are all the things that do, like talking about these things. And I have the monthly meetup, and I think that it is, I can't see my calendar, but the fourth Thursday, which is next week, which I think is the 23rd, which is the day after my birthday. But the 23rd, I'm doing a monthly meetup. So the fourth Thursday of every month, where you can just come and ask me questions. Like, you have questions about the, what does it mean to have self-awareness? And you want to know about the 14 milestones, the 14 elements of it. Like, we can dive deeper into that. Bring your questions, like, you want coaching, we'll do live coaching. It's just really a time for us to come hang out, for me to get to know you and you get to know me. Like, so stay tuned. As soon as that landing page, you do have to click to get the email with the Zoom link, because I'm not going to just put the Zoom link in Facebook. I've learned my lesson with that. But anyway, that is coming because I'm really excited about it. And yeah, it's the day after my birthday. So why not? Let's keep that party going. But the authentic confidence that we want, we can speak up without having to second guess ourselves when we know, when we can lean into our true strengths. We can share our perspective without apologizing. You know that I'm not a fan of like my truth, your truth, but I am a fan of, this is how I see it. Can you explain your way to me? And when you have this authentic confidence, you can have a conversation without getting offended or without offending. Like, well, it's on them if they want to be offended. Like, sometimes you can't help it. But you can have conversations without apologizing for your perspective. And you may be right, you may be wrong, but it's at least opens a conversation, and you're confident enough to understand, like, this is what I think. I'd love to hear your take. The price, well, trust your intuition and decision making. This is one of my favorite things. I know so many people who have trouble making decisions because they're not confident about their decision. Well, when you authentically know yourself, when you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. You may not know the outcome of things, but there's things you can lean on. There's things that like, okay, I know that if we go in this direction, I can figure out the rest. And by writing things down and by understanding and developing your life plan, by developing your self-awareness journey, you'll be able to know, like, okay, based on the information I know about myself, this is the most right decision for me. And you don't have to feel guilty about it. You don't have to feel shameful about like, oh, I did what others wanted me to do versus what I know in my gut that I needed to do. And then you feel worthy of the success you create. One thing I know about successful people is that we are constantly, well, not even worried that's going to go away, but there's that feeling of, what if there's something I don't know? What if I'm found out? What is next? Like, am I capable of the next level? Friend, you are. And even if you're not 100% ready skill wise, you can, if you're confident, you can learn all the skills that you need to move up. You can learn the skills you need to start your side gig. You can learn the skills you need to change jobs and into a new department. Because once you know your strengths, you know your skills, you know your unique value proposition, your zone of genius, then we can look at how does that translate into this other arena, because it already does. And then the last one that I want to talk about today is just this deep personal relationships. We are wired for connection. We're wired. We need, whether you're an introvert, extrovert, ambivert, whatever vert you are, we need connection and we crave deep personal relationships. And I know that, well, relationships are hard, especially, with teenagers, with your spouse, your partner. Like, it is, relationships are hard, whether it's personal or professional, because people are so unique and you don't know what they're thinking. You don't know their perspective. Well, the thing is when you understand you understand what triggers you, you understand what bothers you understand what lights you up, then you're able to show up who you need to be in the situation. Not that we need to change personalities for different situations, but we get to show up and say, okay, I know that this, like, when I go to this group of friends, I don't talk about business. They don't want to talk about business. So this is deeply personal. Or I know that my friend who doesn't have kids, like, I don't talk to them about parenting things because I know that that's not something that they want to talk about. And it's okay. I can build a deeper relationship with them based on things that do connect us. So we can show up more authentically in every relationship we have when we know who we are, when we know why we're the way we are, when we know how God's wired us. We can set boundaries without guilt or explanation. When we know why, like I'm ride or die till 9 p.m. I like to be home. I like to be in bed. As much as I love my people, I am an introvert. And even one thing I've noticed with doing this job, because I am so extroverted during the day, that I have so many clients that I meet with, and it's, and I'm intently focused on them when I'm in the client session, I'm mentally and emotionally and relationally exhausted. And so protecting that, where I stop clients earlier in the day so that way I can reserve some of my emotional capacity for my kids and for Kyle. And I know that my limits, and I know, and I would not have known that if I didn't do a deep dive into what I needed to balance my energy. What did I need to be the best me and the most authentic me? And then you can build genuine connections based on truth, not just on assumptions, not on putting a facade for someone or trying to pretend that you're someone just to be in the cool crowd. I learned a long time ago, the cool crowd that's a lot of work trying to be cool enough to be in the cool crowd. Yeah, like, I just want to be me, and I want people to like me for me, and I just want you to be you because I really want to get to know you. And then just to create space for more meaningful interactions. In order to have relationships, we get to go deeper. And if you want to experience true relationships, if that's one of your goals for 2025, understanding you will help you understand how people see you, will help you understand, manage your energy so you can give them the best version of you. It will help you understand, like, this situation drains me, so I'm not at my best. So let's not meet in this situation. Let's meet beforehand, and then we'll go do this together. Whatever it may be, but by understanding you, it's going to be a lot clearer. And then let's just talk for a moment about why it's worth getting uncomfortable. Because the discomfort of self-discovery is temporary. Asking yourself these questions, there's some guilt lined in there. The brain puts up some blocks because you're like, this is selfish. Why are you focusing so much on you? It's all about your heart position. What is the purpose? Do you want, is it really about you? Because I've learned that the more I discover about me, it's the more I can show up authentically for others. The more I can serve authentically and have more energy for others. The more I can be a better mom, a better friend, a better partner, a better, like everything. If I know me. And so, because the discomfort of self-discovery is temporary, but the cost of not knowing yourself is permanent. So every day you spend outside of your zone of genius is energy you can't get back, is impact you could have made. It's joy that you might have experienced, relationships that could have deepened, purpose that remains unfulfilled. And think about the time like you were cleaning out your closet, right? Yes, it's uncomfortable to pull out everything and examine it. But once you do, you find things and you dealt with them. You felt lighter. You experienced new things that you didn't remember you had. But once you've done the work, you create the space for what truly belongs and you get rid of all of the things that don't. And so there's the relief and clarity on the other side that makes temporary discomfort more than worth it. So I want to extend an olive branch. I want to extend an invitation to you. If you're ready to do this, because the real question is, why should I do this uncomfortable work? But rather it's, what is it costing you to not understand yourself? Are you making the impact that you want? Are you leaving the legacy? Are you living your purpose? Do you know what your purpose is? Are you spending energy you can't get back? Was there an impact that you should have made? Are you experiencing the joy that you really want? A deep dive into self-awareness is the answer to all of these. And I can walk you through it. And so I want to invite you next week, the 23rd. If you go to Divine Design Facebook group, I'll put the information in there. Because again, I'm not going to blast it on everywhere, Facebook. But if you send me a DM, I will send you the link. Also, there will be a website soon that you can actually just push a button and it'll give you the email with the link in it. It's going to be a monthly thing. So this is when I want you to start putting it on your calendar. And let me tell you right now the time of it. That way you can put it on your calendar. It's going to be 11:30 Central Time, the fourth Thursday of every month. So bar any crazy things. But I want you to be there. This is free. It's just come and hang out, bring your friends. Gentlemen, you can come as well to this. I do have some women only events coming up, but this one you can come, just come and hang out and let's talk about what we want for 2025 and how understanding yourself can actually get you there a lot faster. All right, friend, with that, choose joy until joy chooses you, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.